I'm at the gas station, and I don't know how to fill the gas. It's supposed to be pretty simple. You just insert your card, you remove card, and it beeps. So the card works, it's not the card. So here's the problem. Remove nozzle. So, I remove this. Is this the nozzle? And I put it in gas. And then pull the trigger, no gas. It still says lift hand, but freaking lift it! Just pass the pickle chips. Oh, I guess it works now. I don't know what this is, a nozzle. I don't know what this is. I've never seen this at other places. What the heck is this? Babe! I messed it up and we only got $2 worth of gas. Hello guys, and welcome to Justin Reacts. We love reaction videos. We love taking other people's content and using it for your own platform. Yes, that's what I'm doing today. So today I'll be watching the weirdest and most disgusting confessions of Reddit, which is Radiotts makes videos of them. I don't know, they use a little robot to read out the words. Holy shit, I need to charge my camera. Oh well, yeah, let's get into it. The weirdest and most disgusting, not because I'm scared to watch it alone.
Content may be upsetting or disturbing to some audiences. I am a second-year male student at, let's call it College A. On Friday we had a costume party at my place which was attended by 50 people. One of the guests was a girl. I'll refer to her as Glass from now on. Glass is not attractive, like a 3 or 4. Damn! Stature. At about 2 or 3 when the party was just about dead she drunkenly came onto me. I debated it, but eventually we both stumbled to my room. I'm in shock about the disgusting things that happened between us. After about 45 minutes of sloppy drunk sex the condom broke and slipped off, so I continued bare, something I have never done before. About 10 minutes after this she abruptly pulls away and
that happens
into my trash can. At this point we call it a night, and both pass out. In the morning she was still horny I guess, and we picked up where we left off, at which point I realized that she had vomited a second time during the night, this time in my bed. I was having sex with her on top of the puke. I almost didn't realize what I was doing for a while, but when I did stop, and when I looked down at what I was doing, I discovered that she had started her period and that my hands, penis, and crotch were covered in blood.
Puke and blood?
I told her we needed to stop. I can barely look myself in the mirror. This has really got me messed up
and she was ugly. Oh.
I can't even sleep in my bed anymore. I don't know. I just needed to write this down and have someone hear about it. When my roommates asked me about Friday night I lied and told them the sex was alright. I kind of hate myself now. I diarrheaed on my boyfriend during sex and tried to cover it up by blowing him. A long time ago with my now ex-boyfriend, we were having sex and I already had a bit of stomachache.
Ew!
I was on top and it felt really good, and I guess I lost a bit of control. Anyhow, I diarrheaed a bit on him and it stunk up the car. We were having car sex, and I tried to cover it up by blowing him so he wouldn't see brown on himself when he got home.
No. Ew, so she put it in her mouth.
I don't know if he knows. Hopefully he just thinks I let one rip during sex, but it was much too smelly for just a fart, I think.
No.
Disgusting, I know. I've never told anyone, but I thought Reddit would enjoy this one. I'm disgusting and I just accidentally drank my own piss. Pretty much every day for the last year, all I've done every day is sit at my desk and surf the internet. I only leave my apartment to get food. Once I'm finished eating I will just push the rubbish to the side of my desk and then leave it there to rot. If there isn't enough room on my desk I will just throw the rubbish to the side of my room. When I need to urinate I grab one of the empty bottles or cups on my desk and piss into it. About 15 minutes ago I bought a Big Mac meal and ate it at my desk. I had sat my drink next to me, and after I'd finished my burger I went to have a sip, but I unknowingly grabbed one of the old McDonald's cups that I had previously pissed into. I think it was the one from a week ago, but it could have been one from last year.
Just clean up.
At first I thought it tasted a bit weird, but since it was mixed in with a half-drank Coke I had to swish it around in my mouth several times before I realized what I had done. If I'm being completely honest, this isn't the first time that this has happened. I know, I'm disgusting. I stuck my penis in a tree and now I don't know what to do. The other day, I was raking leaves in my...
Oh, that was my piss!
I went back into my backyard, my parents weren't home at the time, and put the condom on my penis. I started to stick it in the hole a few times to get a feel for it, and it only hurt a little bit. So I proceeded to do this until my condom fell off. The only problem is that it fell off during the point of no return and I couldn't help but keep going. So long story short, my penis is very scraped up from this and I'm not sure what to do. It's been bleeding for a couple of days now. I'm too embarrassed to tell anyone, but it hurts so much I can barely even walk because it rubs against my pants.
Let me tell you guys a story. I kind of feel this pain, but like this was probably 30 times worse. But when I was in like first grade, I was like on the playground, and like there was one of these poles that you slide down of, circles around it that was like I don't know, like steps kind of, but it was like a circle. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, this is a picture of that. So I slid down it, but then somehow I tripped, and then the outside of the circle, my crotch fell right on top of it. And I was just like, I fell out to the floor and I just sat there for like 3 minutes and then I got up. When we came back inside, it was deer time after recess. And then I asked my teacher to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom and then I checked in my pants. And what do you know? I was still bleeding. Like, was like kind of stretched and ripped. And I was bleeding. I was like,
Ow.
oh wait, no, this is like third grade. This is like third grade. And I grabbed the toilet paper and like dabbed it, and I was like,
I pooped myself.
Yeah, okay, that sounds kind of weird.
My boyfriend was right next to me working on his music and eating the pizza I made for us. I am sitting on the bed trying to let some fat ones rip. If you catch my drift, my boyfriend has his headphones on so he wouldn't be able to hear any of them.
do you do that? Try to let out all your farts so I can hear it?
No, I just don't fart.
That's true, girls don't fart.
I let one rip after another and then I felt it. I pooped myself.
Been
My
there.
boyfriend likes to call me his goofball and right now I really do feel it. I start to rapidly tap his knee to get his attention. I think I just pooped myself, I told him, but he heard it with the biggest grin on his face. I'm a 19-year-old girl that just pooped herself in front of her boyfriend, and to make it worse I had the guts to tell him. He wasn't fazed at all. In fact, when I came back with no shorts on he called me his hot mess. I don't know where this is going except for my boyfriend to make a confession on this Reddit saying that he has a poop fetish. I let a complete
That one's
stranger
real. That one's
pee all
definitely
over
real.
me in public.
Yeah.
I have always been turned on by the thought of another man peeing on me while I have my clothes on. I am straight and am not attracted to men.
That's so specific and
although this is
gross.
a bit homoerotic. I put an ad on Craigslist about 10 years ago. I requested someone to pee on me in public. I was living in New York City at the time. We agreed to meet in Central Park on a rainy day. I was really afraid of being attacked because the other guy was a complete stranger. He told me he had been drinking liquids and needed to pee bad. We went to a secluded area and he told me to get on my knees. He then pulled out his penis and peed on me for what seemed like forever. He actually made a point to pee all over my clothes. After he was finished, it was kind of awkward. I didn't know what to say, so I just said thank you. He was like, no problem. As I was walking away, the clothes started to dry and kind of burn and obviously smelled really
Burned?
bad. I only did this one
Yeah,
time
burns
and was
are
really
right.
paranoid I was going to see the other guy in a social setting. When I was growing up, we had a computer, which I loved like a sibling. But it was a giant hulking desktop PC. And as my folks had paid for it, we had to pretend it was the family's, even though I was the only person that could use it. And so it lived in the games room, which was connected to the living room, and completely viewable from there. This was no big deal. Until, that is, I discovered the joys of internet porn. After quite a brief foray into the world of internet porn, it became very obvious that this was likely to be a long-term relationship. However, it was also obvious that if I kept up these late-night dalliances, it was just a matter of time before someone walked in on me punishing myself. So I developed a system. Before the living room, there was a door that came into the kitchen. This was the bottleneck. To get to the lounge you had to come through here. So I would balance a pen on the doorknob of this door.
Dang, he got a
If
whole
somebody
trap.
opened it, the pen would fall onto the tiled floor, alerting me to the security breach and giving me sufficient warning to alt-tab and zip up. It was actually a really good system, and saw me through years of happy masturbation. One
But
late evening, though, I'd come back from a friend's place very stoned, and as was often the case when high I was feeling quite amorous. So I booted up the computer, grabbed a handful of tissues and balanced my pen upon the doorknob. I was about midway through when I heard the pen drop. My alarm was sprung. This wasn't unheard of. It happened from time to time. It was cause for panic, but it did mean you had to act swiftly and decisively. Like a well-oiled machine I sprung into action, Alt-Tab, putting junk away, zipping you. Holy hell, what just happened that hurts like Beelzebub's fury rage? I looked down. In my haste I had zipped up right over my scrotum. It was a mess down there and it hurt. Fortunately, in spite of the pain, I'd managed to have the presence of mind to stifle my cry, and knowing my visitor was still imminent, I pulled my shirt down over my junk and did my best to act casual. It was Dad, a notorious bad sleeper. He said hey, and I grunted a hello back, willing for him with everything I had not to try to engage me in conversation. Fortunately, he didn't, but he proceeded to put the television on and sit down to watch. The situation was pretty dire, but it could be worse. I was very high and my junk was a mangled mess, but I hadn't been discovered, on either account. Unfortunately, the way I'd covered myself, standing up was not an option. I sat there, in great pain, worrying about what damage I may have done to my junk, trying to pretend I was busy just browsing on the computer. Time passed though, and my heart sank. It looked Dad had really settled in. I couldn't wait this out. I was going to have to take action. So, while still trying to appear as though browsing the internet, every now and then I would quickly move hands away from the keyboard and mouse, and give the zipper a sharp tug. This, of course, was extremely painful, but desperate times call for desperate measures. I did this a number of times, but I was still terribly caught up in there. If anything, it felt like it was getting worse. I told myself not to be such a sissy, that there was no easy way around this, it simply had to be done. Finally, a full 45 agonizing, humiliating minutes later I heard the television turn off and Dad wished me a good night as he went back to bed. Safe again, I lifted my shirt to full inspect the damage. It was not good. Not only was my scrotum in there, but also somehow now it had gotten right up to my foreskin as well. In horror, I slowly realized what had happened. Somehow the combination of the pain, panic and weed had gotten me disoriented. I had been pulling it the wrong way. I had spent the last 45 minutes.
No! That's not good. I can't even imagine.
He's so stupid. He's pulling it up.
He was high though.
Stoned out of my head, pulling my zipper up, pulling more and more of my junk into its nasty sharp teeth with every tug, all the while playing it cool as my dad watched late night TV 5 meters away. Having now realized my error, it was a pretty simple matter to fix the situation, though it still hurt like a bitch. Before long, my junk was free, and upon inspection, still had all the requisite parts mostly intact. It would take some time to heal, but it didn't look like the damage would be permanent. To this day, however, I still can't figure out how I managed it. There's only two ways a zip can go. How could I have gotten it so wrong?
That was a great story.
This is one of my deepest secrets, something I would never share with anyone I know, so I have no idea how people are going to react to this. I've always considered nipples to be extremely ugly on both men and women. They just look plain weird and disgusting to me. I loathe them, and think the human body would look much better to me without them. I hate even the word nipple. Sometimes when I'm in the shower I will barely cover mine with my thumbs just to come as close as I can to seeing what my breasts would look like without them. I'm
confused.
Okay, dude, I just hate the way, like, people's mouths look on humans. Like, it's so weird. It's like a hole on your face. Like, ain't that freaking weird? I think it just looks bad. I think we should just not have mouths. The heck? Nipples? Come on. You can't even see that most of the time. Like, just cover it. I mean, you don't have to see it most of the time. Except for when you shop. Oh, that's... People have the... Okay, anyways.
Probably would never do it because of the cost, but I want mine removed. I'm an asexual who is not interested in a romantic relationship, so there is no potential issue with a partner wanting me to keep mine. And I've felt this way for over 12 years, so I know this is not some passing thing that I would change my mind about or regret later. I don't know if I could even find a doctor who would do it even if I went to do it. My main reason for posting this is I wonder what other people think about all this.
Yeah, I said what I thought about it. Free the nipple, man. Free the nipple. Not kill it. Man, she wants to kill the nipple. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. It's Justin Soon. Game. Shit. I don't have an outro.